My M31 girlfriend, f35, tried to roleplay as underage. How do I navigate this? I apologize in advance for using graphic language. I hope it isn't offensive or against the rules, but it's hard to describe the situation without it. I want to be clear, this situation involves nobody under 18. My girlfriend Liz and I have been together for 5 years, no problems to speak of. I would call it a healthy, normal relationship. I care about her and love her deeply. As far as I'm aware, she had a very normal upbringing, as did I. We have always had a kinky sex life. Mostly mentally rather than physically. She is very submissive, but in terms of how she talks and wants me to talk to her, not in terms of wanting to be slapped or tied up. The other day we were talking about how we lost our virginities while getting intimate. A big thing for her is the idea of belonging to me. Being designed for me, she started musing about how it would have been if I'd taken her virginity. At first I thought she meant just in general, so I reciprocated, but the more she spoke the more I realized she meant when she was very young. She referred to things about her body from an almost prepubescent age, but wasn't specific, so it took a moment to understand what she was referring to. But you don't talk about, well, not having hair down there, yet if you're doing regular role play. Again, I apologize. At the time I steered the sex away from that fantasy, if you can call it that, and we just had regular old sex and finished normally. She told me how turned on she felt when she was talking about the stuff I mentioned above, and I changed the subject. Looking back, I think my horny brain sort of ignored the full nature of what she said. Sitting at home today and thinking about it, I mean, holy fuck. That surely isn't healthy, normal, or even not concerning for an adult to fantasize about. I'm surprised I managed to carry on, as thinking about now is pretty stomach-turning. I know people can have some extreme fantasies that aren't based in reality, that lots of adults enjoy age play, and do so without trauma as a cause, but to think that my partner of many years thinks I would enjoy taking the virginity of a young teenager is both concerning, but also deeply insulting in a very real way. It would be different if she was writing erotica about it for herself, but she involved me. I don't know what one does in this situation, how seriously to take it. I mean, I could see posting this and having a sea of dude she needs therapy, but also don't kink shame her. Frankly, I don't want to think about her sexually at all now. I feel like I might need some time before I can do so again. So, is this, hey Liz, that was really weird, it made me deeply uncomfortable, I think I need a break. Or, hey Liz, the fact that you were turned on by this and thought that I would be as worrying and alarming, can we talk about it please? Too long, did not read. Girlfriend of 5 years tried to roleplay as a young teenager with me as an adult. I am repulsed by the idea, but also worried about what it means for her, if it might imply something, or if it's just fantasy talk. Thanks for reading. You should probably tell her you never want to do that again, because you find it disturbing. From what you've said, I think there's a chance the main draw for her is the fantasy that you took her virginity. The age factor could be a byproduct of that, and one she got a bit carried away with. A gentle conversation to find out what the elements are that she's into, and allowing you to state what elements you're not into sounds like a good start. I may have read your post wrong, but maybe it's more about a deflowering fantasy, and she just associates being a teenager with losing one's virginity. Don't shut down on her. Communicate to her how the underage aspect makes you uncomfortable being a man. Make it about you and not her if you want to avoid shaming her. And for the love of Jehoshaphat, do this outside of the bedroom and sexy time. DDLG is a legitimate kink, and if you're not into it, that's valid, and if she is, that's valid too. Being into DDLG doesn't make you into actual children. It's not a big deal. Just let her know it wasn't something you'd want to pursue, or your thing, then move on. Do you know how old you were in her fantasy? If you were 31 and she was 14, okay, that needs to be a conversation. But if the fantasy is you both met at 14 and fell in love, that's actually kind of sweet. I 26M feel like rethinking mariage with fiancé 24F after New Year's outburst. We have been together now for 6 years. Our marriage is set for late 2026. She came over for New Year's. Before midnight she ended up passing out. She sleeps diagonally, so I had no room in the bed. I tried to wake her to move over, but she's a heavy sleeper and that doesn't always work. I ended up going to the couch to sleep, so I had more room to spread out, and I figured I'd let her keep sleeping. At 5 a.m., she comes out to the living room. I get woken up because I heard the door open. When I glanced over, she looked visibly upset and angry. I follow her to the bedroom where she tells me how upset she felt waking up alone in bed. I tried explaining what I mentioned in the above paragraph. She starts getting angrier with her tone, repeating how alone and disregarded she felt waking up alone. I let her know it wasn't cool being woken up to this, and her tone is really disrespectful. I was just met with her saying, "I'm not speaking to you disrespectfully." This same trend continues for the next 15 minutes, and at this point I'm starting to get frustrated with the situation and tell her she should have left me out on the couch to sleep. That obviously wasn't the move, because the conversation shifted to that remark being the topic of the argument from that point in time. As the conversation continued to get heated, I just told her, I wasn't going to talk to someone who's being disrespectful to me and brushing off my concerns. I need to sleep, and I don't appreciate waking up to something like this. The conversation continues, and she says, I can't do that. She's going to leave. She's having a panic attack, and I need to talk to her. Now I'm starting to speak angrily, and I let her know she's free to leave at any point, but she should wait until later in the morning with all of the cops and possibly drunk drivers on the road from the New Year's celebrations. I tried to walk out of the bedroom, and she ends up blocking the door. She's done this before. I gently go to move her out of the way. I ended up not leaving the room. Afterwards we talked through things, albeit not perfectly, and we resolved the issue 1-2 hours later. After everything, I'm still shocked. She's done similar things in the past, where she will wear me down for an hour. No matter what I say, she won't reflect on how she's speaking to me. When I finally blow up because I've been talked down on for an hour, suddenly I'm the bad guy for speaking to her that way. I'm not perfect, I make mistakes, but moments like these leave me feeling confused, hurt, and lost. I try and communicate what she's doing, she immediately denies it. I'm scared for marriage because it feels like she can't maturely communicate how she feels without mentally imploding, and sometimes she gets unhinged. Any advice is appreciated. Thanks. Good Lord, why are you engaged to her? It was exhausting to read your post, so I can't imagine how exhausting it is to live it. Is this what you want your life to be? Don't marry her. Postpone the wedding and tell her why. If she gets angry or dismissive, the relationship is over. If she agrees to go to therapy, either alone or together, to improve how she deals with conflict and confrontation, I guess you could continue the relationship and see. But definitely don't go into a marriage with this doubt and concern hanging over you. You got a lecture about something that should have been an, oops, sorry about taking up the whole bed. I wouldn't get married to that person. I have a similar situation with my husband of many years. I go to bed later than him, and I regularly have to get him to shift to his side and remake the bed with him in it. It doesn't bother him at all, and he would be more concerned than upset if I ended up on the couch. She's making it all about herself. Blocking a doorway and preventing someone from leaving is abuse and not normal behavior. Wearing you down like this is a sign of disrespect and an inability to consider what you want or take no for an answer. Her behavior is a pattern that happens regularly. People like this tend to get worse after marriage or getting pregnant when they feel like you are trapped. And therapy with someone controlling like this usually just helps them get away with their behavior better. I'm going to vote run. She's done similar things in the past where she will wear me down for an hour. This is what you are signing up for. It will not change with marriage. Sounds like it's less about this one incident and more about a pattern that you perhaps were ignoring when moving forward with this person. Not sure if alcohol is a contributing factor. But if the fighting is truly too much for you, that's valid. All couples fight, but there's a limit to what is acceptable in those moments. My husband, 31M, and I, 29F, want kids, but I am afraid of losing myself to being a mom. My husband, 31M, and I, 29F, recently decided on having a child, and I need not quite reassurance, but rather a realistic assessment of motherhood, I guess. Basically, I just saw a video on social media posted on a channel for confessions of mothers who regret having children. And this one woman said something that hit me like a ton of bricks. I am an artist. I'm a free spirit, and I am a romantic. I am a poet and an activist and a good friend. I am kind, beautiful, and deserving. But only in the life that might have existed if I didn't have kids. In this life, I am mom. This, in a nutshell, is what I am afraid of. I am so many beautiful things right now. I am finally in a place where I am at peace with myself. I have created a life for myself that I would choose again and again. And I am afraid that I won't be able to say the same after I have a child. So I'm asking you, is it possible to have a child without losing myself? I am currently married to a man that has been my partner and best friend for more than a decade. He is incredibly supportive and loving, as is his family. My family is complicated. I am not going to count on them for support. I have a tight group of friends, some live somewhat close, some pretty far away. None of them have children, about half of them don't want kids. I have ADHD and struggle with burning myself out, but I am in therapy and have made great progress in that area. I think I would be a good mother. I do not have a burning desire to be one, as some women do, but I would like to experience motherhood. I would also be okay with not having children. My husband, however, really wants to be a father. There would be no future with him without children. I want to be more than mom. So I ask you, based on what I told you about my life and your own experience, how do I not lose myself? Did you find your way back? What would have helped you stay connected to yourself and stay your own person? Or is such a thing impossible? If it isn't an enthusiastic yes from both of you, don't have kids. You can do it without losing yourself, but society will always see you as a mom first. It can take years after baby to feel normal. You'll lose some friends due to lifestyle changes and available time. It changes every part of your life. The only way you can have kids and still be your own person is if your husband actually does his 50% of the parenting. Most men do not even come close to doing half. That's why women end up regretting having kids. In most cases, having kids completely destroys a woman's independent life. You'll never be able to work the job you want. You'll have to work the one that works around your children's schedules. If your husband dies, you're 100% responsible for the kids 24/7. If he leaves you, you may or may not share custody and get any time for yourself or financial support. Your kid could have special needs. Only have kids if you 100% want to have kids and plan to devote your entire life to them, because you never know what life will end up looking like. You are right to worry. I don't care how much parents explain that nothing changes, that's bullshit. You will have to give up everything but childcare until your kids is grown and gone, and you never get 100% back. Not wanting to lose myself is exactly why I chose to remain child-free. I just turned 70 and have zero regrets. Having had kids, I found I discovered a whole new me. Parts of myself and my partner I didn't know existed, and was happy to discover. I was also, to my surprise, happy to let go of things I thought I wouldn't want to let go of prior to baby arriving. That said, I have friends who tried to maintain their previous lives/selves more, and it's totally possible. It's really a case of choosing what you want to spend more time on, and I mean that completely unjudgmentally. Sounds like you're going to have kids to keep a man, which is crazy. Under those kind of circumstances, yes, you'll probably lose yourself and end up hating being a mom. If it's not an enthusiastic hell yes to having kids, it should be a hell no. As long as your husband is an active participant in raising your child, and you give each other space to pursue your interests, you should be fine. It becomes a burden when there is no balance as far as child care. My 19 female, boyfriend, 19 male, doesn't believe in loving your partner your whole life. So we've been together for a year now, and the subject of marrying your significant other and staying with them, loving them too, until death, I guess, has been coming up recently in our conversations because we saw a TikTok about it. When I asked him if he believes he can love the person he would marry his whole life, he immediately, zero hesitation, said no. He then argued that a person can't love their significant other their whole because at one point you just get tired of all of it and want some change. I was instantly surprised by how fast he responded to that question, laughing my ass off, because my beliefs when it comes to this are different. I believe that marriage is a big part of our lives as humans who need constant care and love, and I also think that loving your partner for their whole life before and after marriage is just normal. Like, isn't that the whole concept of being together with someone? I understand that results may vary after marriage, but if there are no problems or conflicts that you guys aren't willing or able to solve, why would you stop loving the other person? When I asked him for more arguments, he simply said that most couples these days hate each other and only stay together because of kids or some other similar matter. I just wanted to hear some thoughts about this topic and how this reflects his image to you guys. If you are dating with the intent to marry, break up with him. He is not your person. By the speed of his response, he's already thought about it. I'd give him an A for honesty and an F as a potential long-term partner. Sure, 19-year-olds can change their minds. How much time are you willing to invest to see if he will? Bless his heart. He is 19 years old and thinks he knows most couples, or what marriage and relationships are like. Speaking thus confidently with absolutely no life experience or knowledge is just showing how immature he is. Now you know. He's not aligned with you. Also, you don't want to stay with the dude you're dating at 19. Just know. Oh, sweetie. There are many reasons why people can fall out of love. Hopefully you will not have to experience it for a long time. But what you have learned now is that there is no long-term future with this boy you're dating. If he was head over heels for you, he would not have said this. He would have said something like, I know many people separate, but honestly, I can only see a future for me with you in it. I just love you so much. Instead, he couldn't be quick enough with blurting out how he could never, cause he will get too bored. This likely means he is already bored of your relationship. He is 19 and is not yet the person he will evolve into. On that note, neither are you. You will always be working on being the next version of yourself. Perhaps the shock of how quickly he answered is because he's so certain in what he knows at this time. I also agree with the comment above. If you're dating to marry, he's not it.